Officials in Queens unveiling a new strategy to crack down on shoplifting.
Imagine this. In bustling New York, shoplifting has skyrocketed by a whopping 64%. That means a store hit 5 times a day is now getting robbed 8 or 9 times daily. But fear not, Governor Hochul has stepped in with a bold $45 million plan to tackle the issue head on. However, not everyone's convinced it'll work. Critics argue it doesn't address the real reasons behind the city's crime surge. So what's really going on? What is the real reason for this retail theft crisis? Join us as we uncover the truth behind New York's crime wave. Welcome back, everyone. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay updated on all the latest news. Let's dive into the mystery together and decode New York's battle against crime. At a recent event in Queens, Governor Hochul shed light on the alarming magnitude of retail theft, revealing that it had ballooned to a staggering $4.4 billion in 2022. This hefty figure translates to a staggering loss of $176 million in sales taxes alone, underscoring the dire economic implications of unchecked theft within the retail sector. New York City stands at the forefront of this crisis, experiencing the most significant surge in shoplifting nationwide between 2019 and mid-2023. According to a comprehensive study conducted across 24 cities by the Council on Criminal Justice, incidents of shoplifting skyrocketed by an alarming 64% within this period, with Los Angeles trailing closely at 61%. A recent survey further underscores the pervasive nature of this issue, revealing that a staggering 93% of New York City grocers fell victim to shoplifting last year. The inventory pilfered ranges from everyday essentials like soap and candles to indulgent treats like ice cream. Despite retailers implementing stringent security measures, including locks on refrigerators, thieves persistently find ways to breach these defenses, exacerbating the challenge faced by storefront businesses already grappling with inflation and the aftermath of the coronavirus pandemic. Compounding the issue is the revelation that a relatively small cohort of repeat offenders disproportionately contributes to retail crime. Shockingly, nearly a third of all shoplifting arrests in New York City last year involved just 327 individuals. These repeat offenders collectively amassed over 6,000 arrests and rearrests, painting a stark portrait of the recidivism plaguing the city's retail landscape. The motives driving these individuals vary, ranging from economic necessity to addiction and mental illness, further complicating efforts to address the root causes of this epidemic. Additionally, the concentration of victimization is striking, with a handful of department stores and chain pharmacies bearing the brunt of these crimes, accounting for 20% of all complaints. In New York City, stealing isn't just about getting food or basic stuff like soap anymore. Recently, something crazy happened. A Gucci store in Lower Manhattan got robbed in broad daylight. A local has to say.
The
3
holiday
people, 2
and
men and a woman went into the store around lunchtime.
I mean, there's so many kids out today. There's no school. That is so terrifying. I can't imagine being in there with my kid.
They had a gun and told the workers to lie down while they grabbed stuff from the shelves. Then they jumped into a car and sped away. The police are still looking for them, and we don't know how much stuff they took. After the robbery, the store had to close for the rest of the day. People in the neighborhood were scared and upset. One woman who worked in retail for a long time said things are getting worse. She worries that incidents like this will make it even harder to find good workers in stores. It's just a sad situation. Gucci is not the only luxury store facing theft in New York. Shoplifting is a prevalent issue. Just last week,
I just didn't want to move. I didn't want to make no sudden moves and make no mistakes, you know what I mean? Yeah. They mean business.
A luxury boutique named Rebag fell victim to theft when perpetrators broke into the store through the basement. The thieves made off with handbags and jewelry worth a staggering $225,000. From groceries to high-end ticket items, retail theft has made headlines for all the wrong reasons. This robbery isn't an isolated incident. It's part of a bigger problem in New York City. Theft, especially in stores that sell luxury items, is on the rise. It's not just about stealing what you need anymore. It's about stealing expensive things for profit. And it's not just small-time thieves anymore. Organized groups are getting involved, making it harder for stores to stop them. It's a tough situation, and something needs to be done to make New York City safer for everyone. Before we proceed to the next topic, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay updated on all the latest news. Governor Kathy Hochul recently unveiled a bold $45 million plan to combat retail theft in New York. The plan represents a significant investment aimed at addressing the growing problem of theft in stores across the state. Governor Hochul stood alongside state and local law enforcement, all working to put an end to the shameless, greedy epidemic of retail theft that started during the pandemic. Speaking at a press conference, she stated,
"We have to protect. They went through so much of this pandemic. They were shut down. They're barely hanging on as it is, and they come out of it thinking the sunny skies are back, the bright days are here, and all of a sudden there's this specter of crime at unprecedented levels."
A major component of the plan involves allocating $25 million to establish a specialized unit within the state police dedicated to tackling retail theft. This unit will focus on apprehending thieves and preventing further incidents of theft in stores. Additionally, $15 million will be allocated to district attorneys to support the prosecution of offenders, ensuring that those responsible for theft are held accountable for their actions. Furthermore, $5 million will be provided to assist businesses in enhancing their security measures, such as installing surveillance cameras and hiring security personnel. While the governor's plan has been met with optimism by some, others express skepticism about its effectiveness in addressing the root causes of retail theft. Concerns have been raised about the release of repeat offenders and the challenge of deterring individuals from engaging in criminal behavior. Despite these uncertainties, the plan signals a concerted effort by the government to tackle the issue head-on and protect businesses and communities from the impacts of theft. New York's response to retail theft mirrors efforts seen in other states, where governments are taking steps to crack down on organized crime and strengthen penalties for theft offenses. These measures reflect a growing recognition of the severity of the problem and the need for comprehensive solutions to address it. While the effectiveness of these efforts remains to be seen, they represent an important step towards safeguarding businesses and communities from the scourge of retail theft. By investing in proactive measures and supporting law enforcement efforts, governments aim to create safer environments for businesses to thrive and for consumers to shop without fear. New York's recent announcement of sweeping plans to crack down on retail crime reflects a broader trend seen across the country. Trade associations and law enforcement agencies have been lobbying for government action to address the rising incidence of theft in stores. These plans include the introduction of new legislation aimed at increasing penalties for retail crime offenses. Additionally, there will be more funding allocated to police departments and district attorneys' offices to bolster their efforts in tackling theft and prosecuting offenders. The concerted effort to combat retail crime underscores its significance as a top priority for governments, particularly in states like New York and California, where governors Kathy Hochul and other Democratic leaders have made it a central focus. The emergence of tough-on-crime platforms from Democratic governors signals a shift in traditional partisan politics, challenging long-standing fault lines. In the past, Republicans typically advocated for stricter penalties, while Democrats prioritized addressing the root causes of crime, such as poverty and inequality. However, the urgency of addressing retail theft has transcended party lines, prompting bipartisan support for tougher measures to deter offenders. Since 2022, several states, including 6 in 2023, have passed laws to impose harsher penalties for organized retail crime offenses. New York and California are poised to join this list, reflecting a nationwide effort to combat theft and protect businesses and communities from its detrimental effects. Despite these efforts, accurately assessing the extent of retail theft on a national scale remains challenging, as it often goes unreported and undetected. Moreover, the effectiveness of the proposed legislation in deterring theft is uncertain. Nonetheless, the collective action taken by states and stakeholders demonstrates a commitment to addressing retail crime and ensuring the safety and security of businesses and consumers alike. Similar to what occurred at the small privately owned and operated Bodega SLG grocery, aside from robbery, there is also a future threat of assault for the grocery staff because one of the robbers has a gun and threatens the staff if they interrupt the theft. One business owner recounted an incident saying,
"We had a shoplifter in the store and we had escorted him out of the store 4 times. He was trying to shoplift. The 5th time, he got upset and he threatened us that he was going to come in with a gun."
That's why 911 is important, but it's hard to get through to 911, and by the time they do, the robbers are already gone. So some people get creative. Bronx stores are now using WhatsApp and calling officers directly in a new NYPD test to combat shoplifting, and they say it's working. The NYPD in the Bronx has quietly begun working more closely with small businesses as it grapples with a shoplifting epidemic, and local supermarket owners say the early signs look promising. In a throwback strategy, police officers in the Bronx's 46th precinct last month began handing out their personal phone numbers to local business owners, a stark contrast to the past several years, during which shopkeepers gripe they've given up on dialing 911 over a lack of response. This initiative aims to bridge the gap between law enforcement and small business owners, providing them with direct access to officers to report incidents of shoplifting in real time. Shoplifting doesn't just affect the bottom line of businesses, it leaves a lasting impact on both the local economy and the community as a whole. Beyond the immediate loss of merchandise, the broader consequences of shoplifting can be devastating, both economically and socially. For local businesses, each instance of shoplifting represents not only a financial loss, but also a threat to their livelihood. Small businesses, in particular, operate on thin profit margins, and the loss of even a single high-value item can have significant repercussions. The cost of stolen goods adds up quickly, forcing businesses to absorb losses or pass them on to consumers through higher prices. Moreover, repeated incidents of theft can lead to increased insurance premiums and security costs, further straining already limited resources. The impact of shoplifting extends beyond individual businesses to the entire community. As theft rates rise, businesses may be forced to cut back on staff or even close their doors altogether, resulting in job losses and reduced access to essential goods and services for local residents. Moreover, the presence of boarded-up storefronts and abandoned buildings can create a sense of blight and insecurity, further eroding community morale and deterring potential investors. Additionally, shoplifting contributes to a cycle of crime and social decay, as stolen goods are often resold on the black market or used to fund other criminal activities. This not only undermines the integrity of local businesses, but also fosters an environment of lawlessness and distrust within the community. Ultimately, the human and economic toll of shoplifting cannot be overstated. It is not just a crime against businesses, it is an assault on the fabric of our neighborhoods and communities. To combat this pervasive issue will require a collaborative effort involving law enforcement, businesses, and community members working together to address the root causes of shoplifting and create a safer, more prosperous environment for all. The crisis of shoplifting is not solely attributed to individual actions, but is deeply rooted in underlying systemic issues within the criminal justice system. One significant factor contributing to the rise in shoplifting incidents is the implementation of bail reform laws. These laws, designed to address issues of equity and fairness in the justice system, have inadvertently led to unintended consequences, including an increase in recidivism rates among shoplifters. Under bail reform laws, individuals accused of non-violent crimes, including shoplifting, are often released without bail pending their trial. While this may seem like a progressive approach to reducing pre-trial detention rates, it has created a revolving door effect where repeat offenders are released back into the community without meaningful consequences for their actions. As a result, shoplifting has become a low-risk, high-reward activity for some individuals, perpetuating the cycle of crime and undermining efforts to address the root causes of the crisis. In wrapping up, shoplifting isn't just about swiping stuff. It's a big deal affecting everyone. From hurting local shops to flaws in the justice system, it's a complex issue needing more than a quick fix. Let's not just slap cuffs on folks. We need smarter solutions that tackle the root problems. So, subscribe now to stay in the loop and be part of the solution. After all, fighting crime is serious business, but a little wit and wisdom can go a long way in making our world a better place.